I just finished a tour of Lower Manhattan. It's very wet outside, but I remember that there are still really wonderful Christmas decorations that you can see inside in Lower Manhattan. So I wanted to show you these Christmas decorations. So right now I am in a building called the Oculus. It's a train station and a shopping mall, and I'm going to explore a little bit of the Oculus with you. The Oculus means eyeball. It doesn't really look like an eyeball, but we'll get to a point where it maybe does. There's also not always great reception in here, so my apologies if it cuts out. But we're going to head down to the lower level of the Oculus, and we're going to check out the Christmas decorations and maybe learn a little bit of the history of this building. So as we're heading down this building, just know that this building was designed by a Spanish architect named Santiago Calatrava. Santiago Calatrava is generally famous for going a little over budget. So this building cost $4 billion, and that is billion with a B, $4 billion. So keep that in mind as we look around. So Dewey asks how I'm doing. I'm doing well. I'm a little wet because I just finished a 4-hour private tour and the weather is not very nice right now, but I'm doing well because it's Christmas time. So I'm heading in here. And I want to point out the reason why this is called the Oculus, which again means eyeball, is if I stand in the middle of this building, we have this glass spine. This glass spine creates an eyeball, and the weather, again, as I said, isn't very nice. But right here in that glass spine, you can just make out that you have One World Trade Center, the building that replaced the original Twin Towers. So we have the Oculus becoming an eyeball looking towards the future. Now we're gonna come down here. I really hope that the music doesn't give me too bad of a copyright claim. But I'm gonna walk in here because they've transformed this into looking a bit like a winter fairy tale palace that's really interactive and you can walk through it. I think it's really interesting to see how people engage with it. And again, on a cold and rainy day, coming into the Oculus is a great way to experience Christmas decorations. They're playing a remix of Frozen, which I absolutely love. I think it's very classy in here too. So let me know what you think in the comments. And it's also cool because they set up this little holiday market where you can get different food and different gifts. I was going to show you a little bit of this holiday market. They used to have a very popular booth called No Chewing Allowed. I haven't seen that around this year at any of the holiday markets. We'll walk us to the other side of the Oculus here. We have a lot of tour groups coming through, especially because it is a rainy day today. A lot of tour groups want to be inside, understandably. So it's actually much more crowded here today than it is on a normal Saturday. I love the snowman up here. We'll go around to the front of the snowman, but I just want to show you how reflective it is. I don't know if you can see, I'm waving in the snowman. So here we are at the front of the snowman in the Oculus. And if you can also tell, there's fun lights that are reflecting off of the wall. Now I'm going to take us out of the Oculus. We have a little tiny bit of a walk, so I'll try to share some fun history of this building with you as we do this walk, and you'll also see all of the holiday decorations. Yes, so as we walk to our next location to see indoor Christmas lights, we have these PATH trains to New Jersey. PATH trains to New Jersey literally go between Manhattan and New Jersey. If you're here at rush hour on a weekday, it is so crowded here. It just feels like a swarm of people coming up and down the stairs. Now, an interesting thing about this building, and technically where these PATH trains are, is we're basically underneath the north reflecting pool of the 9/11 memorial. So something that I feel a lot of people don't realize is that the original World Trade Center site was built on top of a train station and a shopping mall. So as we rebuild the World Trade Center site, we also rebuilt a train station and a shopping mall. So here we are in that new train station and shopping mall. Now, as we walk through here, this isn't necessarily the most festive area we're going to see. We're going to go head into Brookfield Place, which is some of my personal favorite lights in Manhattan. It is a light show called Luminaries. I hope I don't lose connection here. But right up here, oh my goodness. I'm waiting for the big white cold blanket to hit the Big Apple this year. I'm assuming you're talking about snow. And I've been asked, when does it normally snow? Quite a bit on my tours recently. And there isn't really a satisfactory answer. We've had blizzards on Halloween before, and then there's been times when it hasn't been until late January when we get our first snow. I'm doing okay, Dennis. I'm a little wet because it's wet, but I thought, people keep asking me what's something we can do in the rain. So I thought it would be fun to make this video and show you how you can still get into the holiday spirit and not get rained on. And right now, where we see these garlands up here, this is actually the entrance to One World Trade Center, which is the new building that replaced the original Twin Towers of the original World Trade Center site. So the anchor tenant is called Condé Nast. Their entrance is basically right above us right now, but this is also really close to the entrance to One World Observatory. Now, One World Observatory is the observation deck on top of One World Trade Center. They currently have a holiday-themed event called Wonderland. It's One World Trade Center, so it's Wonderland. All sorts of fun holiday-themed stuff up there. And that observation deck is entirely indoors, which on a day like today is actually a huge plus because you won't be, getting rained on. You don't have to experience the wind. Right now, we're walking under the West Side Highway. This is actually a really cool walkway to me because we're technically walking through the slurry wall. The slurry wall is a wall that was built when they constructed the original Twin Towers. They had to basically build a giant wall to keep the Hudson River out of the foundations. So we actually cut a hole in that slurry wall to make this path. So we're walking through the slurry wall. And we're gonna go up these escalators and we're going to head into an area called Brookfield Place. Some of you might be familiar with it as the Winter Garden Atrium. It sort of has been rebranded and it's called Brookfield Place. And this is where we're gonna see, in my opinion, some of the best lights, at least indoors. Now, right now we're seeing a very fancy escalator. If you're watching, let me know where you are watching from. Who's in New York experiencing the rain and the wind, or who's maybe at home in Florida. That's where I'm from. As I said, lots of tour groups are going to be indoors today because of that weather. You can maybe see up here, up there, it looks like a wall, but it's actually just gray, yucky weather. Okay, so Brookfield Place is another shopping mall. It's a very high-end shopping mall. You could tell that right away by looking at the brands. Oh my goodness, from Kentucky. What's the weather like in Kentucky right now? So yeah, we have Bottega Veneta, there's Louis Vuitton, a bunch of stuff that I'm gonna have to get a lot more subscribers on YouTube if I want to afford shopping at any of these stores. But I still like to come here because it feels very aspirational and whimsical. But right around this corner, you gotta wait for it. Okay, we start to see, oh my goodness. Okay, so I lied to you because normally all of these lights are lit up and they put on light shows and you can interact with it. But today, we actually have a performance of the Nutcracker happening. I'm gonna try to zoom in so we can see this performance of the Nutcracker. Oh, and someone's feeling very inspired by the Nutcracker. Try to get us closer. Show you all the people watching. Has been very inspired to copy the dancers. It is Brookfield Place. I always love the Nutcracker. I'm gonna zoom out again. Try. I'm just gonna head outside. I know that it's a little yucky outside, but there's some fun stuff to see here at Brookfield Place. So if I head out here, there's an ice skating rink. Now it's gonna be closed because of the weather. You can see how yucky it is. Oh, you're welcome for showing you around. The Nutcracker is amazing. I can go back in and watch more of it if you would like. It's a free performance. I don't know if they're doing it multiple weekends or multiple days, but because they are doing the Nutcracker, they don't have their lights on, the luminaries lights. So normally that whole canopy above where the Nutcracker was is lit up all these different colors, and there's two different ways that you can interact with those colors, and you can kind of control what the colors do. Look at this, it is so wet that the Zamboni is having a hard time. But I actually really like this. This is the rink at Brookfield Place. I find it to be a really nice skating rink because it's typically quieter than the other rinks. Like, everyone now knows about the rink at Bryant Park, so that one can be very, very crowded. Of course, Rockefeller Center and Woolman Rink will be very, very crowded, whereas the rink at Brookfield Place, which is only wet because it's been pouring outside. It's normally a very, very nice rink. And the other thing, I'm going to try to get us a view of the Statue of Liberty, because as we are out here, oh, there she is. I'm gonna have to attempt to zoom in. It's kind of cruel and it's very windy. So sorry that the phone is shaking, but if I zoom in, where is she? There she is, behind the lamppost. Back and forth. But you can see the Statue of Liberty from here at Brookfield Place. So I just wanted to show you that. And that's about the Christmas lights. I'm gonna head on in the other side so we might get a view of the Nutcracker. It is a bit tornado-y. I'm gonna head back inside to get warm and maybe see a bit more of the Nutcracker. Let's head on in these doors because we'll get a little bit more Christmas. These doors, you have to be strong to open them. So here we have more Christmas trees. I just really think that Brookfield Place's Christmas decorations are very elegant, and I love it when Luminaries is going because it's really interactive, and I always enjoy interactive features. So here we have these really pretty trees. Now, something about the Rockefeller Center Christmas tree and most outdoor Christmas trees is they don't have a lot of ornaments because we get that really big wind and we don't want the ornaments to fall off and break or possibly hit somebody. But here at Brookfield Place, we have these beautiful indoor trees that are decorated so beautifully. And I'm going to bring us around back to the Nutcracker. Maybe we'll see another number from the Nutcracker and then I will finish up. Again, I'm like new to doing lives. Let me know if I do more lives, A, if you like them, and B, if you want them to be more just like walking around without talking, or if you want it to be more of a narrated tour, because that's typically what I do as a job is I give tours. I just finished giving a tour. So it's my inclination to want to, tell you the history of everything. But sometimes people want to just walk and enjoy the sights. So let me know what you would prefer so I can give you more of what you would like. So up here, oh, thank you. So John says that he loves my narrated lives, and I would love to do more narrated lives. So up here, this is where we have the canopy that's normally luminaries that lights up all of the different colors. Well, here we have more Nutcracker. So, fun fact, growing up, I danced ballet. I still dance ballet. And I was always what we called Mother Jagone, but I've heard her called Mother Ginger as well, and a bunch of different names. And that was always the song that I danced to, the one that they just performed to. And I do hope to do more like actual kind of tours to walk around and share more of the history of New York right now, because I just think it's such a special time to see all the Christmas lights. I really wanted to show off the Christmas lights, but if there's a specific neighborhood or topic that you would like a walk about, feel free to let me know. I'd be so happy. And of course, if you're visiting New York, I'd be so happy to show you around via tour. And I heard someone mention that they knew it was Brookfield Place because we have these Australian palm trees. Just a little bit closer to the Nutcracker performance. Take us around, and you'll have to come back, or I did a short about luminaries because I really enjoy that as well, but I also like the Nutcracker, and it's really cool that Brookfield Place provides opportunities for people to get free entertainment. You know, you can go see New York City Ballet's Nutcracker. It is a holiday tradition. In fact, I believe that they've been doing the Nutcracker at like New York City Ballet or the Nutcracker in New York City for longer than Santa Claus has been visiting Macy's. So that's always an impressive fact to me. So it's really like embedded in New York City culture that we watch the Nutcracker. We have one more Christmas tree. Okay, so I'm gonna finish up for today. Thank you so much for watching. I'm always amazed when people come and join me on these live walks. I thought it'd be interesting to give you an idea of ways that you can celebrate the holidays and be indoors. And instead of, I was gonna show you the wind. Look at this poor lady and her hair. It's so windy outside. So if you get bad weather like that, you can always come to Brookfield Place and the Oculus and enjoy a little bit of the festive spirit. So thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, make sure that you click subscribe because it helps me bring you more videos like this. Happy holidays, everyone.